Hi, I'm Charlie. I'm 19 years old and I spent a whole 10 hours alone with a beautiful girl. In a broken elevator. It was enough time to overcome our insecurities and show each other our best side. But everything went wrong. It happened on Christmas Eve. I hopped into the elevator and saw that my riding companion on a trip to the 6th floor was a very pretty girl. I took a deeper breath to better smell the scent of her perfume as the elevator jolted and froze. I was confused, wondering what had happened as she was already trying to report the problem to the elevator service. Strange, no one's answering. I'm Dina, she said, smiling. And I'm Charlie. She looked at me questioningly, expecting me to say something else, but absolutely nothing crossed my mind. Time passed and I continued to be silent, trying to look completely at ease as if I were not embarrassed by the awkward silence. I really wanted to get to know her better. When would I ever get another chance like this? I just couldn't figure out where to start. She spoke first. This is taking a long time. I hope we'll be out in time for the holiday. I heard that someone once spent 42 hours in a broken elevator. I fell silent when I saw her looking at me with frightened eyes. What was I doing? I'm a complete moron! An hour passed. After 2, we were sitting on the floor with backs propped against the not-so-clean elevator walls. After 4 hours, we were rummaging through all of our belongings in search of at least some kind of food. After 5 hours, we split a piece of candy that Dina found in her bag. After 6 hours, we felt like we had known each other for about 100 years. At this very cool moment of our imprisonment, I suddenly realized that more than anything, even more than Dina, I wanted only one thing. I urgently needed a toilet. Dina noticed that something was wrong with me. I didn't want to talk, but I couldn't hold it anymore. She quickly pulled an empty water bottle out of her bag. Here you go. Do it. I shook my head. I couldn't do it in front of her. Yes, come on. There will only be a real problem if I have to go. A bottle's not going to save me. Take it, and I will turn away. I tried, but nothing worked. It seemed like it was already up to my ears, but I could not squeeze a single drop out of me. You will hear. I can't. Dina put on her headphones, but that didn't work either. Then she turned on some loud music on her phone so that I would be distracted. So, standing in the far corner of the elevator with my back to Dina, while a relaxing Sting song was playing, I finally did it. I put the lid on the bottle and bashfully put it behind my backpack. I was about to thank her when the elevator started moving again. The doors opened and we were released. We were almost gone when we heard a loud scream from the technician. Guys, you forgot your lemonade! I had to go back for that damn bottle. I never got Dina's number. It was somehow a little awkward after that. So that's when we parted ways. Thank you for listening to my story.
Hi everyone, my name's Marcus, and I'm 16. I'm not a fan of romantic comedies, candlelit dinners, and all that love nonsense. I have my dog Harry, and I don't need anybody else. Every morning I walk him in a park. But on the day of July 21st, being irritated by occasional strangers in order to avoid any contact, I turned onto a small path covered with grass and leading down to the lake. But even that place wasn't empty. There was a girl sitting on a very cozy bench in the shade of an old oak. She was dressed in a long-sleeved dress, opaque tights, and closed shoes. Her thin hands were under her dark blue gloves. The whole outfit was not for that weather. Suddenly, she gave me such a simple and open look that a flicker of a smile flashed across my face. The stranger blushed and looked down embarrassed. It was clear that my uninvited appearance was quite unpleasant for her. Trying to maintain my dignity, I've stayed there for 5 more minutes and hurried to leave. The next morning, it was the same story. Our eyes met again, and there was disappointment. She must have been annoyed by the fact that I disturbed her privacy again, and I just felt bad. The The only person whom I wanted to see so badly that morning was clearly not interested in my company. I kept coming back to the lake for the whole week. Neither her senseless outfit nor her frowned look and her persevering silence, nothing could overshadow my desire to see her every day. It was the time I dared to speak with her. The opportunity arose by itself. It was Sunday when she suddenly took off her glove to keep a persistent mosquito away. Right at that moment, my spaniel, as if on command, snatched it and ran away off with it into the woods. The girl's face got terrified. I was also taken aback. Not only it didn't look like Harry, but the girl's reaction left much to be desired. I rushed after the dog and hurried to return the glove. Unexpectedly, in response to that, the girl gave me a sweet and touching smile. 2 dimples showed up in her cheeks. Her face got enlightened as she spoke to me for the first time. "I'm Cass," she said. She was 15. Since that day, my life would never be the same. For the first time ever, I had a girlfriend. She was 15. Her long white hair and sweet face gave me a reason for me to be happy every day. We laughed, talked, and even argued since I was a fan of DC while she was a fan of Marvel. The whole following week was just beautiful, right until the moment when I dared to touch her for the first time. I only touched her naked hand between her sleeve and the unfortunate glove, but she drew back terrified and ran away. She didn't show up for half a month. Every morning I kept going back to the bench near the lake just to find it empty. The hope to see my girlfriend again began to fade, when Cass suddenly appeared. She was sitting at our place, as if nothing happened, as beautiful and thin as before, in her long-sleeved dress and dark blue gloves on her hands. Then she confessed to me that she suffered from a very rare disease, and almost any touch of someone else's skin against hers caused a severe allergic reaction. Not everyone's touch was so dangerous for her. She could, well, endure some handshakes, but, as it turned out, not mine. She showed me her hand. There was a red, scaly, irritated spot in the place where I touched her. Cass wept bitterly and started to apologize of not telling me anything before. She felt sorry that she didn't cut off any contact, knowing that there's not much she could give back to me. I really wished I could console her somehow, but shocked couldn't utter a word. Unlike my dog Harry, who piercingly barked and jumped onto the bench between us, we burst into laughing and began to stroke that shaggy pimp. It's been already half a year since that conversation. During that time, I haven't even tried to hug or hold to my side the girl who I love. I can't do it, since she's got a severe allergy to me. She feels comfortable with me, and I do too. I understand that while we are young, we'll be together, but I also understand the impossibility of bringing this problem to the adult life. But maybe there's some hope, and the right cure will be found. But before that happens, everything's the same. The lake, the cozy bench under the shade of an old oak, a weird guy with his dog, and a beautiful girl with gloves on her hands.
Hello, I'm Liv. I'm 22 and I always dreamed of skydiving, ever since I was a kid. My dad has done 11 jumps. When he would put me to bed when I was little, I asked him to tell bedtime stories again and again. Not about a beautiful princess, but about skydiving and the beauty of free fall. And even though I get scared just thinking about the high slide at the water park, I know for sure that I'll do it. Once, my friends and I were resting near the base of the jumps. The conversation turned to skydiving, and they said that a coward like me would never dare to do it. I gathered my courage and said that I would do it that very day. To my surprise, everyone supported the crazy idea. It wasn't actually possible to jump that day, but they were waiting for us at the base the next morning. The jump was to be from a height of 4,000 meters with an instructor. We had a short instruction session, after which I soon found myself on the plane, ready to fulfill my childhood dream. Come on, guys, the plane has to come back empty. You can do it, I heard. Dad always told me that the worst thing is not the fear of the flight itself, but a step into the abyss. I wouldn't have to do it this time. I knew that an experienced instructor would take care of everything, but with such a strong airflow at incredible speed, I could simply suffocate, and no one would be able to help me. I panicked. I remembered a long-forgotten prayer and began to frantically recite it to myself. Everyone had already jumped when my turn came. I got up at the instructor's command. My legs tightened, and I wanted to say something. I needed a little more time to gather my thoughts, but he immediately jumped without any hesitation or warning. We fell, and continued to fall. The wind whistled in my ears, beat me in the face, blew my hair, and took my breath away. A minute! I knew that freefall would last a minute. How long that is! I looked around, saw the earth getting closer, and then started nervously crying and laughing at the feeling of boundless happiness. I did it! Dad will be so proud of me! The longest, brightest, and most memorable moment of my life had come to an end. The instructor gave the command and opened the parachute. I looked up, but I didn't see the dome above us. Any second now, it'll open. We fell faster, and nothing happened. Finally, I felt a jolt. I looked up, but the dome had not opened. The instructor shouted something about the slings, about the main and reserve parachutes opening together and getting tangled. I didn't understand, comprehend, or hear anything. The earth was getting closer, and we continued to fall. This couldn't be happening! Not to me! It can't be! The ground was very close! Now we would slam into it. There was a muffled thump and then darkness. I screamed, and I heard my scream. I was alive! I was lying in sweat and tears in my bed. It was 5 on the clock. It was just a dream, a nightmare. Today was my skydive, and I had just dreamed all of that. I laughed and fell on my pillow. In the morning, I didn't go anywhere. My friends that day fulfilled my childhood dream for me, and I waited for them on the ground, at home, my bed, marred with shame and not even daring to answer the mountain of missed calls from them. I know it was just a dream, but I don't know what to do. Tell me in the comments what I should do. Jump or give up skydiving altogether. Thank you.